In this video, I'm walking you through one of the most underrated two-story plans built by Coventry Homes. And it's underrated because of the tall ceilings and the windows everywhere, but it's also the upgrades that are attracting a lot of buyers to this plan. Stick with me for a great walkthrough. Now this is the Winters plan, built by Coventry Homes. We're in a community called Parkside on the River here in Georgetown, Texas, one of the fastest growing suburbs in the Austin metro area. We're gonna talk all about the community that we're in, as well as Georgetown, Texas later on in the video. I really wanna focus in on this plan because what so many people tell me they love about this plan is how open it is. And that starts right here when you walk in the front door, where we have two chandeliers, a curved staircase, and a lot of different rooms that we're gonna see throughout this home tour. Now, my name is Raj Sahu. I'm a realtor in Austin, Texas, and I've represented clients with 21 different builders, including Coventry Homes, including right down the street from here, where my clients are currently under construction on a home that they're building in a similar line to this floor plan. It's not this exact floor plan, but it does offer something a little bit different than this. And I'm gonna cover all of that throughout this video. So we're gonna cover this home for sale, along with other options that exist in this neighborhood. And I think you'll really see right out of the gate why people love this plan. Like I mentioned earlier, it's all about the tall ceilings and windows everywhere. And I'm gonna cover all of that here. And that starts right here in the kitchen. Now, what's different about this plan are the curves in the plan. If you don't like curves, there are different options that Coventry offers for different floor plans that might feel a little bit more modern, less curves. But if you like the idea of curves, you really want an open concept home, stick with me, because as you can tell, this kitchen island opens up with that curve on the left side. You even have a backsplash that matches the curves that are in this floor plan that I think plays off the veins running through the countertop. We got a 5-burner gas stove top, and then something that we see typical, maybe not exactly an upgrade, an under cabinet vent hood above this stove top. Now, in the state of Texas, we don't usually see appliances offered in these homes. Even on resale homes, if you see like a refrigerator there on a resale home and maybe the seller is just still living in the home, that refrigerator is actually gonna go with the seller unless you negotiate it into the contract. So it's not very typical to see appliances in here unless they are fixed into the property. So for example, you got a microwave built in, as well as an oven built in on the side here. And then of course, just next to the sink, next to this large kitchen island, we have a dishwasher. Now this specific home has 4 bedrooms, 4.5 bathrooms, is just over 3,500 square feet, and has a 3.5 car garage. Now I'm gonna cover the main living area first, and then I'm also gonna cover, if you want to build this plan from scratch, we'll talk about different structural upgrades that you can put into the home. For example, at the time I'm recording this video, there's a fireplace option, and as you can tell, they included that in this inventory home for sale. And if I didn't say it, this home is for sale at $849,000. So what you see is what you get. It's not like we can change anything structurally, but there are lots available at the time I'm recording this video in Parkside on the River, as well as other communities. And because I've represented clients so much with Coventry, as well as other builders that are similar to Coventry, I'll cover the differences between some of these communities, as well as some of these builders later on in the video. And I'm gonna try to provide as much detail as I can, because as we usually say, it's all about the details. When the details hit what you're looking for, that really helps you, especially after closing. For example, on this wall, they have a outlet, as well as a way to fish cords down to probably a piece of furniture down here just to hide the wires. And that might sound like something small, but if you don't have that and those wires really bother you, you're gonna do that after closing, and that's money out of pocket when you're already paying in the 800s for a home like this. Now, this is the living room that was behind me that we just looked at. This is going to be the dining room. And this entire ceiling is open to the second story with windows at the bottom, windows at the top, great lighting everywhere. And what we're opening to is actually the game room area upstairs. Now, there is an upgrade up there that I'm going to talk about a little bit later on in the video that a lot of my clients are doing. I have a client who is building from scratch right down the street from here, and they put in a workout room downstairs on the plan that they got. They also got a media room. I have another client that just closed with Coventry a couple of streets down that also had some different upgrades, like a workout room for their specific plan, but they also elected for a 5th bedroom option. So we'll talk about all those options, especially as we get upstairs. But one of the options is actually gonna be right here in the backyard. So one of the upgrades for the Winters plan that's really popular is putting in a Texas covered patio. All that means is this patio space that you see here would be extended all the way to where you see that downspout. Pretty much would cover the entire living room that was here with all those windows. And I think the best part of the Winters plan is at the time I'm recording this video, that ceiling height that I showed you previously, right here, would go all the way down if you did that upgrade. So I think it's a very popular upgrade. It is costly. I'm not gonna put exact costs of structural upgrades in this video because it does change over time, and I can't go back into all my videos and change, different upgrade costs. That's something that you just got to reach out to me for. And I'll tell you when something's expensive. I'll tell you when it's inexpensive, just because I'm not biased. I don't work for any of these builders. I just work for buyers. I work for my clients who are looking to buy these homes, and I tell them not just the pros, but the cons of these options. So for this inventory home, the pro is the price, $849 list price. I'm not gonna go into if that's a great deal or not, but I can tell you you're not gonna pay over that price. You'd probably pay at that price or under. That's the advantage. It's definitely pricing on a lot of these inventory homes that are finished. But the disadvantage is that patio would make a huge difference. Like if you can imagine that patio going all the way down here, it makes an enormous difference with how this back patio feels. But it also cuts into your backyard, right? So if you want more usable backyard space, that's one way to do it, is not go for the patio. Depending on the cost, I usually have my clients do an upgraded patio if they're building from scratch, just because it's not something you want to do after closing. You don't want to try to have concrete materials come in between these homes after the fact and try to add concrete in those areas. I do have clients that try to do a pergola or something like that, or pools after closing. Obviously there's a lot of that, but for the most part, if you're gonna do that upgrade, it's usually best to do it with the builder. Now, I think I missed the pantry. I can't recall, but the pantry was right here, just to the right of the microwave and oven. And then what we're gonna get to next is the primary bedroom and bathroom. There's a powder bathroom we'll get to right before that. There's 2 bedrooms down on this home. There's also a study, and then there's 2 bedrooms upstairs. So we're gonna cover all of that. Now for the powder bath, it is off the main living area. It actually hooks just underneath the stairwell. And so on one hand, it's in a good location right off of the main living area, which is where you obviously want a powder bath, but it does connect in, it doesn't connect in, but it shares the same hallway with the primary bedroom. Now, when looking at these plans, and I've had clients build the Wichita plan, I've had a client build the Willis plan, the Haskell plan. If you're not familiar with any of these plans, don't worry about it. They're just names to you. But if you're familiar with Coventry, maybe you've been looking around for a little bit, those are all plans that can be built on 60-foot wide lots. And that's the same lot size this plan, the Willis plan, can be built. Now, before I get into lot sizes and everything, I want to highlight the curves continue here, where we have 5 slender windows, a curve in this back wall, and then even transom windows back there. And this is a unique lot. It's unique in the sense that you are not directly facing somebody's backyard directly with them, meaning these backyards all go perpendicular to this backyard. So you do get exposed to, I think, a lot of backyards, but not directly with their back windows. So definitely some pros and cons. And then if you're confused with what I just did there, maybe you're living in an older home, you're not allowed to do the wires hanging from these blinds anymore, just because it's a safety hazard, and they're not even allowed to do that anymore. So they're cordless. You actually just grab them and pull them down, or like I just did before that, move them up. And that change was made right around 2019. So I always get some people that are a little bit surprised by that, and they're usually in like a 1980s, 90s home or early 2000s, and they are usually calling from Seattle, California. That's where a lot of my clients are calling me, especially through YouTube. And then I get a lot of clients that are in high tax areas like New Jersey. I've had a couple clients who closed in this neighborhood from Boston. I get a lot of different variety, but mostly Seattle and California. And what they tell me is they don't want to be in a old home in California or Seattle, but that's, to afford homes in those areas, that's what they tend to have to do. They have to find homes that might need a little bit of work, or just maybe are not as desirable because they're not new, they're older. And that's just how the name of the game works. Obviously, that's why a lot of people are still moving here to Austin, Texas, and that's why I'm very passionate about showing what you can buy here, because I feel the pain of a lot of people that are in tech, especially. They might be on a hybrid model, or maybe they work from home. What's the point of living in a state with high taxes and it's extremely expensive? And the answer to that is simple. California is amazing. It's a beautiful state. Seattle is also very beautiful, but there are pros and cons to each state and each city. All right, what I want to highlight here is this is what I believe is a semi-frameless glass shower. Don't quote me on that, but this is the top frame. And so the semi-frameless usually takes out the frame that would be here. It takes out the frame that would be on the corners, and basically that piece of metal would be everywhere. You'd see it on pretty much every line, but I believe this is the semi-frameless. And when I say don't quote me on it, it's just because builders change these upgrades from time to time. So if you're watching this in the future, I don't know what changes they've made. Again, I can't go through these videos and then correct all the changes. I've done hundreds of these videos. So always double check these things with the builder agent, and also hire a great realtor, such as myself, that can help you in getting a good guide of, again, not just the pros of these options, but also the cons, right? When you go sometimes to different builders, they're great people, but they're never gonna sell you away from their product. Why would they, right? They work for the builder. In my case, I work for my clients, right? I've had numerous options that I've gone through with clients, and every single one of them has cons, right? You need to know those cons and the pros to understand what decision is best for you. And that's a decision you have to make, but we're definitely here for you to go through that process and educate you on all those pros and cons. All right, we'll talk a little bit more about that. Let me cover a little bit more around this kitchen before we get to the study, to the secondary bedroom. There's still a lot here, and actually, one of the main ones is gonna be garage space. The difference on this lot is it's in the 70-foot wide lot section. Now, remember I said this could be built on a 60-foot wide lot at the time I'm recording this video. On a 70-foot wide lot, you can usually do some fun things here, like you might get extra space on the side to put some storage. In this case, this is what considered a half-car garage. So it's a 3.5-car garage, just because there is a tandem garage space. Now, obviously not too many people putting their car in that space, but I think it's great for storage, kids' bikes, sports, like soccer balls, basketballs, everything that you got going on your driveway. It's nice to have that space for storage. In fact, I had a client close down the street. They have a 3-car garage. It was actually a drop garage because they had elevation on, and sorry, I'm just taking you around in a circle here. But they had an elevation going up into the home. So when it goes up, they build the garage down so you don't have a steep slope into the garage. And that gets you a drop garage, which gets you a ton of ceiling height. So they have a lot of ceiling height in their primary, in their garage. And by the way, that's a Rinnai tankless water heater. And that's usually a water softener pre-plumbed loop. Anytime you're buying in Georgetown, you have to get a water softener. The water is very, very hard, and that means it's mineralized, and that means it will, those minerals will build up in your pipes. So in the 70-foot wide lots, I also have somebody building a Wichita plan, which is one of the few plans where you can get 5 bedrooms, and a media room. You don't have to pick one or the other as a structural upgrade. And that they also went for a workout room. And by the way, it's the utility room, so that's washer and dryer. And then this would be a mud bench right here because obviously this would be a great place to take off shoes if you're coming in from the garage or just to drop off your backpack or whatever. But getting back to that Wichita plan, for that Wichita plan, they definitely were gonna add the extra garage space. And so that gave them a 4-car garage because it already came with a 3-car tandem, and they were able to add an extra garage bay, making it a 4-car garage total. Now they also have 2 kids aged 1 and 3, I believe. And so, bikes, those kids grow up really fast. They're already playing sports, one's playing soccer, I think. And for them, it makes sense to get that extra garage space because they need that storage. When I say need, if you're watching this video, you're located in the northern part of the United States, you might have basements. We don't really have basements here. And so if you're using that as storage, that's where in Texas, we really worry about storage without those basements. Now, we are in the study. This is a good look. We're just left of the front door, which by the way is providing a lot of great natural light. I have somebody building in a community in Treviso, and they just contracted last week. And we were really focused on the door because they wanted a lot of natural light. So I took a lot of pictures of different doors that they could put in there. And I just told them they were thinking about doing an upgrade for like an iron door. This is with a different builder. So to provide a bigger frame. And the iron door ended up being several $1,000s for the upgrade. So we were debating on doing it. Would it bring more natural light? I'll fill you in a little bit more on that in a second, but I want to move off of the study and show you that was left of the front door. To the right of the front door, we have a secondary bedroom down. Now, going back to that front door, the reason why we had to choose that right when we contracted is for most builders, you have to select your exteriors right away. And the reason why is when you contract on a lot and you put a deposit down, you sign a contract with a builder, they need to lock in your exteriors, meaning on the exterior of this home, there's brick, sometimes there's stucco, sometimes there's stone, sometimes there's hardy board. Either way, whatever it is, you can't keep repeating the same exterior material over and over again with your neighbors. And the reason why is they don't want the homes to look very similar to each other. That starts to look very cookie cutter, and that's not good for a neighborhood. So almost every master plan community has a restriction so that you can't keep repeating the same materials. Also, the builder needs to send everything in to get permits because permits take the longest to come back. Sometimes it takes 1, 2, 3 months, which can be very annoying. And for that reason, they need to pick these different structural upgrades. Structural upgrades, what changes usually like the frame of the home or adds square footage or adds plumbing, adds different items that you have to choose right away. And obviously a bigger door frame would be one of those structural upgrades that they'd want to figure out right away. Again, that was with a different builder, Coventry. I'm not sure about their options, but it's all based on the plan. I'm not sure about the Winters plan specifically for structural upgrade options for the front exterior, but I know they have a plan called the Brookshire plan that has an option currently for a double door for the front door. So it just depends on the plan and really how much space they have there. Now it's just gonna be a coat closet, pretty good area for it, though we don't do too much about coats here in Texas. I like how they have something for a piece of artwork that you could put there right when you walk in through the front door. You're kind of met with that along with this grand entrance that we saw previously. Okay, let's go up this curved staircase, and you let me know in the comments what you think about curved staircases rather than straight corners. What do you think about the curves overall in this home? Do you love it? Do you hate it? What do you prefer? And overall, what did you think about all those windows in the main living area? I started to count and I started to get dizzy, but now that I'm up here, I can tell you it's 8, then 6, then 6. So that must be 20 windows, if you're including the window in the patio door, of course. That is a lot of windows. That's incredible. And for so many of my clients, they tell me they love windows, they love natural light. What they also love is looking at different lots, trying to imagine what those lots look like. What I'll do at the end of this video is I'll detail a video that I took, or that I'm taking for one of my clients. So if it's not posted at the end of this video, somebody comment and I'll post the link at the end of this video once I get a video of my client's home. Actually, I already got a video of it, I just haven't posted it on YouTube. But all these windows look out to an incredible view. And this is right down the street in this community of Parkside on the river. For some people, they might say, well, I can see into the patio of that client. I can see into the patio of that client. I get it. You know, privacy is always very important for people. With that being said, there's always going to be a compromise on some of these lots because there's only so many view lots and greenbelt lots. So the pricing definitely can make a big difference there. And I'll talk about that in a second. I did want to show you, if you wanted a media room upgrade, it would actually be right over here. So there's an upgrade in this plan if you build it from scratch to put a media room right there, or you can put a 5th bedroom. And that's at the time I'm recording this video. Obviously, I gotta keep repeating that. If you do the 5th bedroom option, I believe it changes the orientation of this full bathroom. So they have a little bit more accessibility between both bedrooms. This one, the 5th bedroom, and then the other one that I'm about to do. But keep in mind, you can't do a 5th bedroom and a media room right now. They're both in the same space, so you have to do one or the other. Now, one thing I like to tell people is if you're gonna put a bath curtain here and it's not gonna be clear, it might make sense to put a light right there, right? Because once you have a bath curtain here, that gets pretty dark, especially if you have a darker tile. Oh, that's not very dark tiles. It's definitely light, but it has some gray tones to it. That might be a good upgrade to do if you're doing electrical. And I got a lot more different upgrades I would suggest, but I'm not gonna cover all of them here. If you need help with this, reach out to me. My number's at the bottom of the description of this video. I've represented clients with 21 different builders, and I'm very upfront and honest on whether I am the right realtor for you or not. For a lot of people where they tell me what they need in a home and a location, I actually connect them with other realtor partners that I have that are more specialized in that criteria, because I try to stick to what I'm good at. I do like exploring these two different communities. It does give me a good trajectory of how these different suburbs are shaping up. So I do tour different homes. Sometimes I'll tour a $1 million custom home. Sometimes I'll tour a $400,000 starter home. I'm just trying to get a gauge of what's out there. But I do have a certain specialty. And when people call me and they fit that specialty, I'm happy to help them. I tell them the past clients that I've worked with that fit the same criteria that they have and why I think I would be a good fit. But actually the majority of the time I connect them with other realtor partners that I know are gonna be a much better fit than me, or I'm partnered with them in a certain area of the Austin Metro. And the bottom line is, it's all about know-how. You don't wanna work with somebody who's just going to be, you know, shooting from the hip, so to speak, meaning they're just, you ask for advice and they're just guessing. They haven't really thought things through, or they constantly try to figure things out when you ask them. You don't want to work with somebody like that. You want to work with somebody who already has expertise in the area of interest that you have, and that they can just guide you right away. And that's, I think, very important. I take a lot of pride in that. I think this is a big purchase. You know, I mean, this home that we're walking is $849,000. Not too many purchases you'll have in your life that are that large. It's really important to work with somebody who's knowledgeable. And it's also important to buy in an area that is growing fast. So, by the way, this is one of the 2 bedrooms upstairs. We already saw a full bathroom. This one has an in-suite full bathroom, so it's a little bit more private. And when I say the area to live in, Georgetown is one of the fastest growing suburbs in the United States. In fact, it was for 2 years running, it was the fastest growing suburb in the US. And the simple reason why is if you look south of here, there's a suburb called Round Rock that has been developed for a while. It's been developed for a while because Michael Dell, who owns Dell Technologies, decided to build his headquarters there, I believe in the late 1980s, in Round Rock. Round Rock is about 10 to 15 miles north of downtown Austin. And so Round Rock really blew up and was pretty much landlocked. And it was landlocked going into like the mid 2015s. going into the pandemic for sure. There really wasn't a whole lot of new construction in Round Rock. There still isn't, just because everything's landlocked. And that's where everybody just got pushed into Georgetown, where they could still be close to tech companies, like one of them Dell, another one's Apple, that's building 15 miles northwest of downtown Austin. Google is close by. There's Amazon is at the Domain area. Actually, Google is not close by anymore. They're closer to downtown. But still, there are some great options around this area when you consider the proximity to these tech companies that have come to North Austin. And so if you're looking at homes like this, you want to be in a community like Parkside on the River that has a lot of great options, but also has a great amenity center. There's actually 2 amenity centers that are being constructed at the time I'm recording this video. One just finished. And you want to have other options like close by restaurants and shops that are here in Georgetown. Also, Leander's close by, Cedar Park, Round Rock's all close by. So everything that's grown around here, there are some great amenities around this area. But the bottom line is the beauty factor is here in Parkside on the River. And I can't show it to you necessarily on this home, but if you want to see my client's home, if I have it posted by now, I'm gonna put it at the right side of your screen. And that has an incredible view and really shows the topography that's here in Parkside on the River. And there are great lots that are showing some great views at the time I'm recording this video. So reach out to me if you want help on that. My number's at the bottom of the description of this video. Also, if you want to see more homes for sale, I do put exclusive homes for sale at the top of the description of this video. There is a website there, and I have great options for you there, as well as more value to you. And then if you want to see, again, that home that my client closed on recently, I'll put it on the right side of my screen right here. And then if you want to see another home for sale, go ahead and click right here. And as always, I hope this helps. Take care, everyone.